Well, hello everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Well, I'm making a homemade pie today, and that means I need to make a pie crust. And a lot of people seem to have trouble making good flaky pie crust, but they're not hard at all. Let me show you just how easy it is. You want to start with 1 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and this is for just one pie shell or one pie crust. And then you want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and give that a quick stir. Just like that. And then you want 1/3 cup of vegetable shortening, and you begin to work it in like this. Now I like to use my hands, but you can use a pastry cutter or forks or whatever you like, but for me it's just as easy to do it this way. It's not hard. You just squeeze the flour into the vegetable shortening and then it'll begin to break apart. I'll speed this up so you can see just how easy it really is. And you just work it and it'll break apart and get smaller and incorporate into all that flour until it gets to be just about like that. Simple, huh? And then the next thing you want is ice cold water. You can see the ice in that cup. You put tablespoons of water. I'm going to put 5 tablespoons of water into this dough. Now it takes as much as it takes, and sometimes it might need a little bit more or a little less. And then you kind of begin to stir it around, because what you want to see is the dough just wet enough so it will stick together. And it's kind of a balancing act. You want it just moist enough so it holds itself together. And so then you begin to kind of press it gently into the bowl. And if it's not sticking together when you press it, then you need to add a little more water. But you can see this is sticking together just barely. And so I went ahead and just worked it just enough to hold together into one dough ball, just like that. And you can see it's not pressed together hard at all. The next thing you want to do is put some flour on your work surface. And we're going to bring that out and get some flour on one side, give it a light press. And what you want to do is to work it as little as possible. Try and get it nice and round as much as you can. Just work it with your hands. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about it being a perfectly round pie crust. That doesn't matter. And then get a rolling pin and very gently begin to roll it. You can see it still has cracks from not being pressed together. It'll all press together as we roll it out. So as you roll it, if you see little gaps, just press them in like that. And you want to try and keep it as round as you can, and if cracks appear, well, just pinch them together as best you can without pressing it very hard. Turn it over, make sure it's not sticking on the bottom, and continue to lightly roll. And as you roll, it'll spread and get larger, and it'll also press together. And we'll just do that over and over again, very gently. If you see any cracks, just press them together lightly. And don't worry about making a perfectly round pie dough or pie crust. What you want is one that's bigger than your pie plate. And you measure with the pie plate, and when you get it large enough, and there it is, then you want to get your rolling pin, and we're going to roll that dough on the pin so we can transfer it over to the pie plate. And so very lightly and gently. I like that word gently because it's important, because you don't want to tear it now. It's just the way you want it. So you get it on that pin, and then you gently roll it back out over your pie plate. Just like that. And there you go. And so now it's just a matter of letting it drape down into your pie plate. And you don't want to push it and stretch it. You go ahead and lift up the edges so it can go down into the pie plate, and then press it all around the edges. And then you come back around and trim off any of the larger amounts of dough. And you want a little extra, maybe about 1 inch, to tuck under. And so once you tuck that edge under, then you can make decorative edging around it. I'm trying a little bit. I don't normally worry with that, but you can get as fancy with the edge of the pie dough as you like. And some people are really good at it and make it look almost professional. But I tell you what, if you see one that's not perfect, you know it's homemade. And then you put it in the refrigerator while you make your pie filling. And after you bake the pie, it comes out nice and flaky, just like this. wonderful. This particular pie, of course, you can tell it's a pumpkin pie. And I'll show you how to make that in the next video. And it turned out wonderful. Well, that's how you make a simple, flaky pie crust. I hope you give it a try. And I appreciate you watching my videos and subscribing to my channel and sharing the videos. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye now.